Well, the corn is really drying down now. Getting close to harvest, guys. What's up, everyone? Irrigation Farmer back today. First off, one thing, sorry, I'm a little muffled. Got a cold. Colds are the worst to have when it's 100 degrees outside. Not fun. So as I said, it is going to be 100 degrees this week. So that corn back there, that's a really bad spot. But we're gonna definitely be drying down really quick here, getting ready for harvest soon. Quick note, also, if you enjoy the channel and want to see more videos, my beautiful face, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Appreciate it. Trying to gain followers. Kind of talk about how we farm out here in, not the desert, but semi-arid environment. Very dry, very hot. And I would say irrigation, but I'm going to say limited irrigations. There she is, the beast. 9600. Oh yeah. So you guys probably remember last year, to say we had problems with this combine is, well, not giving it justice at all. We had major issues with this combine. We weren't able to go full speed or anything. It kept bogging down, issue after issue. John Deere came out a few times. Harvest was a pain. So, all off season, John Deere was out here. We took it into the shop, trying to get it fixed. To be honest, we probably should just buy a new combine, or used combine, because we can't afford a new one. But even a used one, not cheap. So we put some more money in this, trying to fix it, try to get it along, because we just bought a swather. So a combine upgrade right now is not in the books. So hopefully everything is fixed. I hope. Seems to be running all right, but we'll find out here in a few weeks. So I'm going to work on the header, kind of get it all cleaned up. We got to grease it and grease some other things. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So take a look. What I'm going to do is take off all these snouts, I call them, alligator snouts. Get it all cleaned up in there, all the chains and everything. And then Dad and I later on will grease them and get them ready to go. So these lock the snouts down onto the combine. So take all these off on all the rows. So I got a few gator snouts up. Big thing now that is a pain is I have to move this part around to be able to get the gator snout up from here. That's what happens is it hits. So I gotta kind of adjust that and then be able to move it up. Alright, so all the snouts are up. So now I just gotta drag them off. And then all the chains will be exposed and I'll clean them off. Clear off any debris. And that'll be basically it for the header because it's kind of a two-man job to grease it. Dad's not here today, so just kind of getting everything prepped. And then we'll go look at some corn and then get the grain cart ready and some other things greased up. All the alligator snouts are off on the ground. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna clean up this kind of stuff, dust. Two reasons. One, there's a gearbox in here, right there, that needs grease that you do not want dirt and stuff in there. And then two, we might have to adjust these plates a little bit. So these plates, what happens is the corn stalk comes in like this, the chains grab it, pull it, and you can see these rollers here come underneath. These rollers grab the corn and pull down. And that's the stalk itself. So it pulls down here, and then the cob, the chain just continually brings it up, goes in the auger, and goes into the feeder house. Come on, baby. Just needs a love tap. And maybe some of that. Oh yeah. A little bit dusty. Man, that dust gets everywhere, but a lot cleaner. Wasn't actually terrible this year. Some of it's gonna probably blow back in because it's always dusty here, but at least it's nice and clean. We can tighten these to adjust our chains and adjust these, and everything else needs to be changed, and grease it. I'll have to go pick up my daughter Cora. She's at the babysitter. Hopefully everything went well. I'm picking her up a little early because it sounds like she was crying a little bit. Hey Cora, did you have fun at the babysitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you cry a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll try again, right?
Yeah.
Right. Alright, grab some grease guns here to grease the grain cart. Grease. And then also grease the auger. Little things here and there. Trying to get that stuff ready to go. And then we'll go check out some corn. Kind of see what it looks like. Get an idea what fields are the furthest along. Kind of when we think they might be ready to harvest. If they're black layer or not. And just kind of see how it's looking in general. It's got grease. And the grease gun. Welcome to the jungle here, guys. So in the cornfield, and I'm just kind of walking through. Things are looking pretty good. Corn is definitely drying up, but not dead. Cover crops look good. But let's take a look at some actual ears here and see what they look like. So overall, really nice looking ear. This year we did have earworm issues, so that's what you're going to see at the tip. They will eat off a little bit of the end of the corn. We'll lose some yield there, but they eventually die off because of the traits of the corn itself. Pollination was not bad, but there were a few issues. You'll see, like there, I'll try to zoom in. There's some skips there that did not get pollinated. Hard to say what specifically that could be. Could be heat stress, could be limited moisture, could be limited nitrogen, could be a lot of things. But overall, corn looks pretty good. I'll take an ear, take another ear of the other field, and just kind of take a few, and then we'll see what stage they're at and see if anything's black layered yet. This side of the field is burning up a little bit more, and it looks like maybe a little more nitrogen deficiency. This had the sewer rye in it, so it might not have had as much nitrogen. So what it's doing is it's trying to cannibalize itself to try to save the ear and it's cannibalizing the ear, the leaf, trying to grab all the nutrients it can to finish out the ear. Very common in corn when it's stressed. Hard to say if I should have put a little bit more nitrogen. I was kind of doing a test. I did not put a lot on this field. I'll have to do some calculations to see what it specifically is, but still looks really good. Whoever my dad hired as a sprayer, man, they're good. Oh yeah, it was me. What can I say? Kind of a stud at spraying. But anyways, it actually does look really good. Kind of impressed with how well the residual worked this year in this field. Definitely might have to use it down the road again. It's not bad looking ears. There's 5 different fields. I just kind of wanted to see where 5 different ones were at. We have a few more fields to look at, but I wanted to kind of compare these ones because I know they're the furthest along and see what the difference of them look like. So it looks like one field may be black layer. I don't know if you can really see it very well. Pretty much what it is it's saying that there is a dead layer between the cob and the actual kernel itself. So a black layer develops right here, and it pretty much tells the corn, hey, it's done developing, it's time for it to dry up. That's pretty much all black layer says. But once you hit black layer, then the corn starts to dry down, and then you can cut it. Although their fields are not at black layer yet, so they still got a little bit of time, they'll continue using moisture in the field and nitrogen to continue fill that ear. Try to get as much test weight or material in there as it can to try to have a healthy seed before it dies. But we're getting pretty close. Once you hit black layer, there's probably at least 2 weeks. But if we stay at 100 degrees, it's going to quickly go through the process a lot faster than it would at 80 degrees. So Mother Nature will tell where we're going to be. I'm going to go back to servicing things now that I got the grease. Go take a look at the grain cart and go from there. Not a lot of grease spots on this grain cart, but just a few right there and there. Inside the auger. And then I think a few in this auger as well. So trying to find some grease zerks here, and you would think this flight would have one. I don't see one, but there is one up there. Not the easiest to get to, but this is our auger to get the grain from a truck up to the grain bin. Not too bad the grease, but a few spots are a little bit of pain. I swear, I always get my hands nice and greasy. Not too bad, wiped off a few times, but man, does that get on my pants or anything? Yeah, a little bit there, not too bad. Well, I'm done for the day. Kind of got everything greased up. A few spots that I need a ladder for, and it's hot. It's end of the day, so we're still going to be working on the combine tomorrow and probably another few days, so just do it then. But thanks for sticking around, for following and watching. Up next, we probably are going to be cutting some feed here pretty soon with the swather, and then next is harvest time. So I'll have some harvest videos coming up. We are going to take all of our corn to grain. Most of the guys in the area are cutting silage, so if you're interested in watching any silage cutting, go check out High Plains Farmer. It's Garrett Mock. He's out here in southeast Colorado, just 20 miles down the road. He runs a custom crew for all the local silage contracts, and so if you're interested in that, take a look. But otherwise, thanks again, and we'll be back another week hopefully. Getting closer and closer to harvest, but probably a few weeks before we're ready to go. Thanks, guys.